Coming up on Nightside, the political storms of the 2016 campaign were in full force today as a wild card emerged that had a lot of people talking. The possibility of a third party running. That's next. And thousands of drivers were stranded last night in frigid temperatures on one of the nation's busiest highways. We'll bring you the full report. Also on News 11, a jailbreak has sparked a manhunt near Los Angeles for 3 male inmates accused of violent crimes. That's tonight on Nightside, which begins right now.
Live from the KYMA studios, covering Yuma and the Imperial Valley, this is Nightside on KYMA News 11.
Thank you for joining us on Nightside. I'm Molly Lange. A jailbreak has sparked a manhunt near Los Angeles for 3 male inmates accused of violent crimes. Investigators say that the escape took place sometime Friday at the Orange County Central Men's Jail in Santa Ana, which is about 40 miles southeast of LA. Authorities say that the 3 men cut through steel bars, went to the roof of the jail, and then rappelled down the wall using sheets. It was an elaborate plan that may have involved creating a jail disturbance, but it's unclear if they had outside help. 2 of the escapees have been charged with murder, and the 3rd was charged with kidnapping. This is the first escape at the jail in at least 20 years. And hundreds of cars, buses, and trucks have been stranded on the Pennsylvania Turnpike since Friday night when a winter storm dumped more than 2 feet of snow along the highway. The National Guard has been called to Bedford County to assist the stranded drivers, most of whom have been living in their vehicles the last 24 hours. Reporter Melanie Gillespie has this story. It's just terrifying. Well, the political storms of the 2016 campaign were in full force today as a wild card emerged that had a lot of people talking. The possibility of a third party run by another billionaire, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. We get all of the latest details tonight from Kristen Welker. Well, we definitely experienced a lot of cloud cover today. Not a lot of blue skies in the desert Southwest, and it's looking like we'll have some more clouds rolling in tomorrow. Standing by in our weather center is our very own Chase Golightly. How are you tonight, Chase?
Doing very well, Molly, and yes, our clouds are looking clear for right now, but those clouds will be rolling in early tomorrow. Then throughout the week, where it's going to be about 80 degrees on your Friday. Throughout the rest of the week, it's going to be in the 70s, and it's going to be nice and sunny. But for Imperial, about 74 degrees for your high tomorrow, and then a high of 80 degrees on Friday. And next weekend, it's going to be about 82 and mostly sunny. And that's a full look at your weather forecast. Let's send back to Molly, see what else is coming up.
Thanks, Chase. Looks like a perfect week ahead. Well, Star Wars fans came out by the hundreds to the Buttercup Dunes today. People in character costumes mingled with young and old fans. The Imperial Valley Film Commission organized the event to celebrate everything Star Wars. Many activities such as an art exhibit, coloring contest, and the screening of a Star Wars movie were part of the attraction. Many who came out say that they brought their kids up as Star Wars fans, just like themselves. Organizers estimate that over 500 people turned out for the event today.
A great day, and the Star Wars fans for many years, and my son is liking Star Wars, and I'm a fan of Star Wars, and it's a good chance for us to come out here and look at the characters and just enjoy the day out here.
Star Wars Return of the Jedi is one of the 29 movies filmed in the Imperial County. Well, Yuma locals are celebrating Oktoberfest in January, as October is still a very hot month for us here in the desert Southwest. So owners of the Das Bratwurst House tell us why celebrating a German tradition in January is appropriate. As the restaurant hosted their 5th annual German Fest, visitors watched traditional folk dancers and listened to live music earlier today. There was also a taste of Germany with many authentic dishes and pastries. There are also many other vendors for people to shop at. And Bill Bowles tells us why they're hosting an early celebration.
Play area for the children. This is Oktoberfest style, but seeing we're holding it in January rather than October, we call it German Fest.
Well, I wish I could have been there today. Well, coming up on Nightside, we'll bring you an up-close interview with a Democratic candidate running for U.S. Senate for the state of Arizona. She talked about what she plans on bringing to the table if elected. Welcome back, everyone. Well, I was joined earlier today by Representative Ann Kirkpatrick, who's running for U.S. Senate for the state of Arizona. She talked about what she plans on bringing to the table if elected. Thank you so much for joining us today and coming in on your Saturday.
Thank you. I've been in Yuma all day. It's just been wonderful here. Thank you so much.
All right, well, I'm going to start with my first question. Why did you decide to run for Senate?
You know, I'm in the House of Representatives right now. This is my third term, and I have a vision for Arizona of building a strong, diverse, stable economy. It's still all about jobs and making sure people have the work that they need. And my opponent, John McCain, is just a prime example of the dysfunction, out of touch establishment in Washington, and it's time to give Arizonans a real choice. So I'm out there, listening to working families who are struggling to put their children through school because it's expensive. I'm out there listening to veterans, and they've already served our country, and yet they can't get the benefits that they need. And I'm out there listening to people, dreamers, people who want comprehensive immigration reform. So this morning I started my day doing a tour of some farms in this area, and it was really impressed upon me how important it is that we get comprehensive immigration reform that includes the DREAM Act.
Okay, so, well, including immigration, what are some other platforms that you stand for?
Well, to get to that strong, diverse, stable economy, there are two main pillars. Immigration reform is one, but the other is education. So we just went through a period of seeing education cut, slashed more than ever in our history, and we can't have the kind of educated workforce that we need without the best schools, world-class education here in Arizona.
Okay, so if elected, what will you bring to the table for our education?
Well, Arizona depends on federal dollars, and we are missing out on some important infrastructure and transportation funds, education funds, because our senators don't ask for them, and we need that. Arizona is unique in that over 80% of the land is public land, and we still fund education based on private property tax. So there are a lot of programs that depend on the federal dollars, like Head Start.
I can really hear the passion in your voice, but what are some specific things that you've seen that have kind of, are the driving force of that passion?
Well, still high levels of poverty all over Arizona. Still people struggling to make ends meet. One of the toughest things I see is when I go to the food kitchens and I see young working families with children. They're working and yet they can't feed their families. So I'm trying to raise the minimum wage and also trying to find those good 21st century jobs that we're going to need with an educated workforce.
It's very true. It seems that most people are in debt with school loans. They pay all that money to go to school, and then they become what is known as the working poor.
That's right. Yeah, I'm very much a proponent of doing something about high interest rates for student loans and also making education affordable. So I hear from a lot of working families who value education, but they're really struggling to put their children through school.
I know that John McCain is running for his 6th term. So what can you bring to the table that he can't?
Well, again, going all over the state of Arizona and hear from so many people who say, look, I respect John McCain's service, but it's time for a change.
Okay. Do they get into more detail?
They do. I because I'm a native Arizona and I was born and raised on the White Mountain Apache Nation up in the White Mountains, and I always put Arizona first. But one of the things people always tell me too is they want representatives, senators who can work together. And so one of the interesting stories that comes out of Washington is that Congressman Gosar and I actually work together. So he's a Republican, I'm a Democrat.
Right.
And yet we've put that behind us and we work to get things done. So people want, so many of these issues are not partisan, so they want bipartisan solutions, people who can work together and also solve the problems. And that's so much of what I hear down here in Yuma. People work together.
Well, it is mostly a red state, Arizona, so what can you tell all of those people that normally vote for the Republican Party why they should vote for you?
Well, because I put Arizona first. I learned those Arizona values of respect and civility. I learned the value of $1 working in my dad's general store, the opportunities and hard work working in my mother's family's ranch. And I took those values to Washington, to Congress. And I don't play partisan games. I'm there to get things done, and my record shows that.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up this interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed meeting Representative Kirkpatrick earlier today. Coming up after the break, we'll bring you an unusual matchup in the making. Twin sisters competing against each other on the ice. That's next. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Well, it was a little bit cloudy today, but it will be getting a whole lot warmer here in the desert Southwest. We will see temperatures in the 80s this upcoming week. Standing by in our weather center is Chase Golightly to give us a full look at our outside conditions. Hey, Chase.
Hey, Molly. Yes, those temperatures are going to be getting into the 80s, and they should be in the mid-70s for the beginning of the week. But
welcome back, everyone. Now it's time for some News 11 sports. Another slice of winter. A new women's figure skating champion will be crowned at the National Championships in St. Paul to be broadcast live here on NBC. And there's an unusual matchup in the making. Twin sisters competing against each other on the ice, as we hear from Janet Shamblian.
Gracie Gold, an Olympian and former national champion, is among skating's current crop of royalty.
Every day in training, you dream that something like this might happen to you.
But when she skates for this year's national title, she won't be the only golden girl on the ice.
So excited to be here.
Gracie's twin sister, Carly Gold, also qualified for the championships.
Have the nerves ramped up yet? I'm going in completely with no expectations because I just feel lucky to be here.
Carly caught the skating bug later than Gracie. For the past few years, both 20-year-olds have trained in California under famous coach Frank Carroll. The girls have been lifelong roommates, best friends, and now, for the first time, competitors.
Gracie and Carly really in this competition will be out for different things. Gracie's really challenging for the title, and Carly is sort of just happy to be here.
NBC sports analysts Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski.
I think it's just such a coincidence for something like that to actually happen. It's really cool.
Carly's been at the competition for years as her sister's biggest fan. But skating the short program Thursday was her first taste of the spotlight.
I'm just trying to really take a lot of pictures just so I can remember